Hello everyone, welcome back. And this is the continuation part of Entity Framework Core 2.0 video series. In last video we have seen the brief introduction and idea about Entity Framework 2.0, and we have also listed some of the software and frameworks which is required to run EF Core 2.0. And if you want to use 2.0 you need to have this software list, so which I have already mentioned in the last video. So in this video we are going to just start demo project and setting up the project, installing the required NuGet package, and we'll try to create a database and pushing some data. So let's jump into the Visual Studio and let's get started. So for the demonstration purpose I'll create one console application on .NET Core. So let's go to .NET Core console app. Let's give it this nice name, EF Core Demo. Okay, cool. So here we go. Now next thing is to just set up the NuGet packages, because the empty project nothing is there. As you can see, only the Hello World program, which is the default template for Microsoft projects. So let's go to NuGet package manager and search for Microsoft Entity Framework Core. And the first one you can see 7.34 million downloads. So we will be working on 2.0 version of this. So let's install it. Great. So we are done with installing the NuGet package for Entity Framework Core, and now let's create some dummy class. Let's say user is a very standard class which everybody follow to demonstration and any purpose, user, employee, student. So I'll go with the user class, user, and keep some properties, say integer id, this string name, and let's say give email as well. So that's all. So EF is quite intelligent to understand the primary key. If you are giving only ID, it will automatically be considered as a primary key of your user table. So you don't need to mention additional information about any specifying the attributes or mapping through the Fluent API. So let's look at it, how it comes up in database. So now go to the no, actually you need to create a DB context class. We have an entity, now we need to have a DB context class. So EF demo context, and this should be inherited from your DB context class, which is available in your Microsoft.entryframework.core namespace. So let's see how many methods are there to override. So there should be something called on model creating, on configuration. So we are going to override these two methods. On configuration, here we are going to define our connection string, and in the second one is on model creating. Here we are going to define our entity class, which is a user class. So just say model builder dot entity dot user. That's it. And here we need to provide the connection string of your DB. So option builders dot, if you search, since entity framework code support multiple databases, you can use SQLite, you can use SQL Server, you can use MySQL, which is open source. So let's search for a SQL, which is not available because we have not downloaded the other package, which is Microsoft Entity Framework Core dot SQL Server, I think. Yeah, let's go and search for SQL. Yes, here it is. So let's download the 2.0 version and install it. Oh, that's done so fast. Okay, so now if you'll try, let's say options builder dot use SQL Server. Yeah, here we go. So here we can define our connection string. So I have copied connection string in the notepad. Let me open it. This, and just copy paste. Here you can keep the data source like the IP address or your username, IP address, and the initial catalog will give EF demo. This nothing is your database name. Integrated security, I have made it as a true. If you want, you can give your credential like a username and password. So this IIS should be false on that case. Now let's go and create one DB set, so it will be easy to navigate for performing the insert and update any kind of operation for a user entity. So let's create a DB set for user. Let's call this as users. So I think we are done. So this is the main class which we need for configuring the EF. Any EF, if you talk about any previous version or entry framework core or 1.0, so this is the main class which we are going to have. So this is a connection string, this is your entity class, and these are the override methods from this DB context class. Now let's go to the main program, and here we have to just create the instance of, let's call it context is equal to new demo context. Context dot, here you have all the methods available in the context: add, added sync, add in the range, attach, which we are going to discuss in the later videos. So for now, let's check context dot add. I'm going to add some dummy user details. So name is equal to, I'll give tk slash email, I'll give mail.com. And last but not least, you have to call context dot save your changes. That's all, I think. Okay, now what do you think it should run? Okay, let's see. Okay, so now hit F5 and try to run this application, how it goes. Okay, boom, it fails because I think it's trying to find a database which is not available in our database server. Let's see, is there any EF core demo? No. So only one thing we need to add additional, So intentionally I did this because I want to show you, like, if you don't have a database, if you have database, existing database, then no issue, you can just create it entity classes and you can push the database if you have tables. But since you don't have a database and you want to create, so you have to apply this ensure created method. You have to call this before this save changes or before adding any data to that. So it will ensure whether the database exists or not. If it doesn't exist, then it will create automatically. And for the development purpose, if you want to create and drop always, then you can just call this also ensure deleted. So it will delete the database and it will create again. So let's try it now. Okay. Okay, gone through. Now let's see the database, refresh it. Here we go. So this is a database called EF demo, which I have created, and this is the user tables. It will automatically create as a users, and this is the data we got. So as I told you, it will automatically take care of your primary keys. So if you are giving property name as ID, it will create primary key for that. You can see. So I think that's it for today, and in the next video we are going to start with, like, adding a multiple values, multiple entities, adding a single entity, so multiple ways of inserting the data and performing the correct operations. So we'll continue on that. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.